Go to market, there we go, share. So hopefully you should be able to see go to market on your screen now. Rapi, just give, there we go. Everyone's starting to come in now. View and share in. There you go. Right. So hopefully now you can see go to market on your screen. Hi, Aisha. Okay, let's go. So go to market campaigns. Let's talk about you. So if it'd be fantastic if you want to put your whereabouts you are in the chat, so I could got a rough idea of where people are coming in from. That really helps. I'm in York, about 180 miles north of London. Excuse me, and although from anyone from the UK might spot my accent, I'm a refugee from the south, so it's a much nicer pace of life up here, and it's beautiful. And also, if your business in business at the minute and you're already trading, fantastic. Just let me know what your main sort of go-to-market method is. That would be really interesting to know if you think in those terms. This is, by the way, a series of 7 webinars. This is series episode sort of number 2, if you like, go to market. Last week and briefly the week before, we talked about value proposition and being able to tell your story. This week we're going to talk about how to take that story, that sales message, to market, hence go to market. Briefly, Sales Marble helps people win on LinkedIn. That's my primary go-to-market channel, and we help businesses develop more business opportunities, new business leads, if you like, and that's what we help people do. But I've had a long career in B2B sales, and so that I use that as a sort of icing on the cake, if you like. I've been in sales since 1988. Okay, so this forms part of a business to business sales process. So it's unashamedly business to business, and it starts out, as we talked about last week, with telling your story, your value proposition, where we are today, which is talking about go-to-market strategy. Next week, we're going to talk about lead generation, and then, but not just any old lead, because we don't, as I'll go into a little bit today, we don't want to be talking to just anyone. We want to talk to people that are interested, we think are interested in our service or product, whatever it happens to be. Then we're going to talk about how to qualify that deal, because not everyone's going to buy from us, and we want to understand who is going to buy from us and who's not. Then we're going to talk about how to pursue some larger opportunities if you're into some really big opportunities. We're going to talk about that. Then we need to negotiate and close that deal. That'll be on the following Thursday. And then for a lot of salespeople or business people, that's the end of the place. You want a customer, you walk away, you want to win some new customers. Well, I think that's wrong. As far as I'm concerned, that's just the start of a new process now, which is how to maximize yield, or you might have heard a term called customer lifetime value. How do you maximize the value of that customer to your business once you've won them as a customer? Okay, so let's talk about go-to-market first principles. It's going to market is literally your offer. And then, if you can imagine, we've got a map of Europe showing here, but it could be a map of the globe. It could be, it's just meant to represent your channels to market. Are you selling to end users, or are you selling to retailers? So the people that actually use your product you don't do business directly. So for instance, if you've got an iPhone or an Android phone, chances are quite high, especially for iPhones, you probably don't do business directly with Apple. You probably buy them through indirectly through Vodafone or O2 or or Verizon or wherever it happens to be in the world, and that would be called an indirect sale. So that'd be interesting to see where your heads are at. Anyone watching this later on are you doing business directly with your customers, or are you doing business indirectly with your customers? And then, because I think whatever the answer is, you need to know who your end user customer is, because if no one's going to buy it, then your indirect strategy isn't going to work either. So we need to understand who our customers are, and we'll go into a little bit of this next week, generating leads, but we need to understand the segmentation around those customers. So your story might flex a little bit. 80% of the story will be the same, but we might tailor the actual message a little bit according to the market. So Rapi, feel free to, or Jill, indeed, feel free to come off of mute if you want to and talk about if you've got any particular, you don't have to, but if you've got any particular customers or how you segment your audiences, I'm open to that. How we at Sales Marvel segment our audience is typically based on size of business. That's a very common way of segmenting customers. So our customers are sort of just me's, which is literally there's just one person running the business. Sorry, let me just let someone in. And there can be so everything from that through to smaller businesses, typically less than 50 employees, that we work with, may not even have a formal sales team. There might be just the directors looking after the customers, and everyone else is involved in customer service or delivering the service or something like that. That's how we segment our customers. Your business might be different, or is almost certainly different, but you need to think about how you're segmenting your customer list. And how do you decide how to segment? And that's what we're talking about on this particular call. The overarching way that we segment our customers is based on how do your customers like to receive information? And that's a very hard question to answer. But that is the question you need to be asking yourselves. How do they like to receive information? Is it by email? Is it on LinkedIn? Where do your customers hang out? Are you going to meet in fact, we're going to go into detail here, but these are the kind of customers that the kind of questions we're going to be asking. Okay, right. So no, we're not going to do a poll on this occasion, but here's the options now. As I mentioned, and you can probably tell, I started sales a long time ago, back in 1988. I've tried answering this question in two ways. What are the options in the 1980s, and what were the options today? The reason why is because some people come onto these things, or some people talk to me, and they'll say, "Yeah, but Keith, you're so old, and I'm 59. I'm still not 60." It's very different now, and you're absolutely right. As I will tell them, it is different now, and we'll find out how different in just a second. And even if you've been involved in sales or in business for only 5 years or 10 years, you probably experienced something called COVID, and all the rules of doing business and getting your message to market have changed in the last 5 years anyway. So the options in the 1980s were typically cold calling. That was either on the phone, or it was knocking on doors, walking around business parks or business office blocks, knocking on doors. And of course, there wouldn't have been social media or anything like that back then. In fact, the internet had only just been invented, but only the military was using it. The internet, of course, originated from the American Department of Defense. You can read up the history. It's not about this. Um, let's just let someone end. Right. Okay. Right. So you would knock on doors, you would ask for a compliment slip, and let's say you were selling phone systems, you would ask someone who's responsible for phone systems in your office, and I would probably write down what kind of phone system, because I could tell by sight what kind of phone system the manufacturer. Probably guess, a bit like a car, you could guess how old it is, and therefore whether they might be in the market for a new phone system, or whether indeed I've got something in my product line or my service line where I think, yeah, based on my experience, I reckon we could sell them, and we would have an offer that would be attractive to them, or not. Looks like they've got a brand new phone system they're never going to buy from us, and but that's still a useful thing to do. Okay, so knocking on doors, snail mail. We could write letters. In the days when you used to write letters, and I have to say those days are coming back because no one's going to the office, or you could advertise, and you know, it takes £20,000 to place a full page ad. Probably a bit more these days. £20,000 to place a full page ad in the Financial Times. But if you've got big advertising budget, that may and only may be a relevant go-to-market strategy for you. Okay, so if we contrast that with the options in 2024 and beyond, you will see that there is a dizzying array, and social media is just one word, just two words, literally, up there. But of course, we can all probably name 10 social media ways to go to market: Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, all of those things, and that's only three of them. LinkedIn, I is, as far as I'm concerned, although it's social media, it in business to business, it serves a certain purpose, and I believe it merits its own branding, not just or labeling, not just social media. But we can still advertise. We can do content marketing, which is a thing. We've got PR, so we might want to. We've Sales Marvel won a couple of awards recently, so we'll be talking to some PR people about how we make best use, how we capitalize on that. And that's a way of taking a message to market as well. General marketing, of course, but once you've done that marketing, what do you do with that marketing? We do speaking engagements. And so if you are viewed as an authority in your sector, and I get asked from time to time to do speaking engagements, kicking off sales meetings, or do something on LinkedIn or something like that, relative to my sort of experience and expertise. That's a way to go to market, to get my brand known out in the market. Testimonials, customers, the best sales force you will ever have. And one of the best things, and I'm based in Yorkshire, so very quickly you get onto the topic of money. Excuse me. Customers don't have to pay them to say good things about you or to sell your products and services. They will do it if they're pleased with you and you treat them nicely, as I believe we would. We do. Then testimonials, case studies are really good things to be talking about. Excuse me. And email marketing is another way of getting a message to market. You can see it's dizzying. And how do you make a decision on all that? Well, that's not always easy to know. The overarching thing, though, amongst all of this is how do you and it was true in 1988, and it's true in 2024, and it will still be true in 2054, is that the right message to the right person at the right time. And we call that buyer intent. Knowing how to work with a customer database and get the right message at the to the right person at the right time is sacrosanct, and that is all business to business sales. That is the holy grail, is knowing when people are looking. There's a myriad of different ways we can do that these days, and we'll talk about that going forward in this series, which is every Thursday, excuse me, at 12 o'clock, just for half an hour, and we'll be doing the basics of all of these. So it's the right message to the right person at the right time, and we'll be testing all three of those sort of bullet points as we go on throughout this piece. Okay. So the go-to-market strategy components, the decision points I need you to be thinking about as you think about how you go to market. It's dependent upon so many things. The number one thing is, who are you selling to? Who's going to buy your product or service? And okay, so I'm not going to go to the chat. Excuse me, I'm just going to grab a coffee. So, who are you going to be selling to? I just want to give you a bit of a lesson, and I'm learning all the time when it comes to who you're going to be selling to. The really good idea is go back through your last 10 deals, if you like, and it doesn't matter if you're selling something for £50 or £50,000 or £50 million. Actually, go through your last 10 deals and try to identify some commonality between them. So ask some questions about what territory are they? Where do they live? What's their socioeconomic status? Are they middle class, upper class, working class? What age are they? What do they do? Are they blue collar? Are they white collar? These are all different ways that we can segment our customers. So segmentation is absolutely vital. And let me just throw this out there, but if you want to have a conversation, a free 15-minute consultation with me, I'll put a QR code up at the end, and you can book yourself in for a free 15-minute consultation if you want to have a one-to-one chat on this, instead of over chat or online, so to speak, to everyone. And then when you get your when you've segmented your customers, you probably shouldn't have more than 5, but you should have more than 1. So for instance, we have at Sales Marvel, we have 4, I would say, customer profiles. And you want between 3 and 5, so that's why I mentioned 4 is actually a reasonable number. And we actually call our ideal customer, we actually assign names to them, so that the moment someone speaks about David, we know that David is going to be this age, this kind of seniority, probably does this for a living, and that helps me understand more about our customers. And we'll have someone called Emma. Emma may be different attributes, and then we'll have Kajol or Aisha as well, and they will have different attributes too. So think about your customers, and whatever content you put out there, whether whatever your message is, imagine you're creating a message for David, Emma, Kajol, Aisha, and imagine you're having a conversation with them. That's my big sort of takeaway from this, is how do you get that message? Now think about how that person wants to receive information. And is it by WhatsApp? Is it by LinkedIn? And LinkedIn, fairly obviously, is the main go-to-market channel for Sales Marvel, but also there are other options as well. Networking is one of them. I'm going to an event next week, a lunch here in York. Really looking forward to that. But also there are awards nights, there are customers speaking, whatever it is that you do that's going to get you in front of your audience. Okay, so we're getting into the last 5 minutes or so of this, and I just want to take some time to talk about the danger of selling to everyone. And if you don't mind, I'm going to come off of share now. There we go. And right, there we go. Yeah, we're going to come off of share. And the danger of selling to everyone is this. If you end up, if you want to try and sell to everyone, if you don't do, i.e., if you don't do any customer segmentation, you will not sell to anyone. And it's literally that stark a message. You'll certainly be, at best you'll be ineffective. At worst, you won't sell to anyone. Now, the reason for that is people are absolutely overwhelmed, um, uh, overwhelmed with data. And so we're so overwhelmed with data. I don't know if anyone watching that will agree with this. I would expect some to, some not. But I get overwhelmed with LinkedIn messages all the time sent to me. I can help you sell more. I can make you a better leader. I could da da da, etc. etc. You probably get them too. And the worst kind of messages are the one that says, "Dear Mr. Keith, it will be dear and then no name. It will be and the instant reaction I get to receiving that. We'll talk about this on lead generation next week. Is frankly delete, not relevant to me unless you've got me within 3 seconds of me clicking on your message, whether it's a WhatsApp, an email, whatever it happens to be. Unless you got me within 3 seconds, I'm not going to take any notice of it. And there is a way to do this, and we'll talk about that further on in the series about how to craft your message. Okay, so danger of it's got to be personalized, and that's why we talk about customer segmentation. That's why we talk about our David, our Kajals, our Aishas, our Emmas, because we've got to try and tailor that message to appeal to those, and that goes not just for small businesses like you or I, or anyone else, but I did some work for BT, which is a massive company, 100,000 people. I did some work for them just only 2 years ago. And my Facebook budget to run that piece of business was £252,000 a week. £252,000 a week. Did we have customer profiles? You bet we had customer profiles because we had to write content, we had to write sales messages, we had sales campaigns that appealed to those customer profiles. So customer profiles are not something for just very small businesses. They're something for very large businesses as well. And everybody needs to take advantage of those. That's vital. Okay, right then. So some takeaways for you. So let's talk about takeaways. And so I'm going to share my screen again this time because I want to put this up there. I want to talk about, there we go. Yeah, takeaways. So customer segmentation, I've labored about that lots. Customer segmentation is don't sell to everyone. Also, especially if you're a smaller business or even a just me, whatever you do it well. You cannot do everything. You cannot be on 10 social media channels and do any of them any justice. So choose, if it's got to come down to one, I highly recommend it's LinkedIn. If you're in business to business, I highly recommend it's on LinkedIn. And do it well and don't dabble. So the reason Bruce Lee's on the screen, Bruce Lee had a very famous comment around Bruce. He said something like, "I don't fear the person that knows 10,000 kicks." Very famous martial arts person. Unfortunately died a long time ago, aged only 32, but still lives long for many people just now. He said, I don't fear people that know 10,000 kicks. I fear the person that knows one kick but has done it 10,000 times. So is really brilliant at this one thing. And he said that way back in 1972, I think, something like that. So that's another post. And then alignment of messages. You've probably got a website. You may even have an app. And I'm assuming you're on LinkedIn. That's how you found out about this. Whatever it is, are all your messages aligned? Does your website confirm the messages that you're putting out over LinkedIn? Are they aligned, or are they causing confusion? Because if you've got confused customers don't buy. Okay, right. So next week we're going to talk about lead generation. We're certainly going to be talking about marketing qualified leads versus sales qualified leads, the bane of my life for the last sort of 5-10 years as I work with marketing companies and sales teams as well. I want to bring your attention to a special offer we've got on, if you like, what we've got to say at Sales Marvel. I've got some top sales tips for sales professionals. The QR code on the screen will take you directly to how to buy that on Udemy. It's 5-star rated. Loads of 5-star ratings on there. You can buy it at a special price. It's 35 off. I highly recommend it. I would love to see you buy that. Even better, buy it and come along next week for lead generation as well. That's how to get hold of me. And that's going to bring us to the end. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative. Excuse me. Hope you found it informative. If you have any questions at all, you can either log them in the chat or you can send them to me at keith@salesmarvel.co.uk. And I really enjoyed that. I'm going to come off of share again now, and I'm going to wish you a brilliant rest of the day. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube a bit later on, hit like, subscribe to the channel. There's about 240 odd sales type videos to help you grow your business in time. I think I'm just about on time, 30 seconds over. I do apologize, but anyway, thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. Thank you.